Recording, bud.
Hi, welcome to Game Scrum. We are going to talk about game stuff today. Cue the music. We don't have the music. Fantastic.
We'll add it later.
We'll add it later. No, it's a live stream, man.
Oh, live, but not really live.
Live, but not live. Through the magic of the internet.
It's Pseudo-Live.
Which a lot of these games didn't have before. Okay, so...
We're just going to leave that.
Nope, got it.
Okay.
Alright, so starting off, we'll do a Technodrome. 30 seconds each person. The question this week is red or blue? Rankin, let's have you start off.
I don't like you. Is anyone timing him?
Go.
I personally choose red, mainly because I don't really remember anything being blue. I do remember Pokemon Red. This is the game I actually had. Pokemon Blue, I didn't have. There was also Halo. I usually was on the red team, but red team sucked, so it was more of just a screw everyone else over. So, red was my favorite there. It's also a good spectrum in the light range.
Time! You're boring, everyone.
Spectrum
I'm
in the
sorry.
light range.
It's a good wavelength.
If you can't see it, Rankin never prepares for any of these scrums. It's very obvious.
So I guess I'll go since it's my question I came up with. Thanks for leading us off.
You're welcome.
Good job, Rankin.
Poor Rankin. Alright, so red versus blue. I'll start in... anyway. So it depends on what game. Pokemon, I had Pokemon Red. Mass Effect, Renegade for Life. Especially at the end of 3. I'm not going to spoil it, but red all the way. But I also prefer blue and other things. So I'm probably going to end up going blue because my gamer tag has the word blue in it. So yeah,
I can see that one.
I'm going to go with blue. Even though I listed off 2 good examples for red. Rich?
Alright, so I'm going to go with, I'm torn here, Pokemon Blue. For the Blastoise, I named Shelly. And then I'm going to go with Rocket League Red. So Rocket League's too young. I'm going to have to go blue. Blue all the way for that because I miss Shelly.
Mass Effect? Halo?
I mean, I'm always blue in Mass Effect for whatever reason. Halo, I don't really like, and I don't really care what color I am. Blue's the better color.
All right. Well, it was really ambiguous, and between the two, in Borderlands, if I had to choose between fire or electric damage, I have to go with green because I like caustic weapons instead.
Caustic's pretty
So
awesome.
I'm picking green versus red and blue just because they're too close to call. I like green better.
No.
Yes, did it. Done.
You also could have gone green with Mass Effect. Spoilers.
Or Halo.
Or Halo. There are green teams.
No,
Or
Master
Pokemon.
Chief
Or Pokemon.
is himself green.
Yeah, like 6
Spoilers.
generations later.
Congratulations. Brandon picked the obvious choice. No.
Okay.
Pick the neutral ground.
Yeah.
Alright, let's move on to what are you playing, including Roadblocks and what's on your roadmap. Let's go back around the other way. So, Brandon?
Doing the rare replay collection. Decided over the weekend to pick that baby up.
I am so jealous.
Yeah. I've mostly been playing Battletoads because I got my work cut out for me there. It's extremely difficult, and I'm spamming the rewind feature that they have. So, you'll die many, many times, so you can rewind and try to tweak what you do just a little bit, and then die and rewind, die, and repeat the process. So that's the big one right now until next week when we get Mega Man Collection.
That's next week.
Next Tuesday. Other than that, you guys already know Borderlands Handsome Jack Collection again, so maybe we can stream that soon.
As soon as my
Maybe,
PS4 gets back.
That's right.
Rest in peace. I'll talk about it later.
Yeah, we'll be ready.
Rich?
Alright, so I'm playing a lot of games, really. Wolfenstein Old Blood, try to get that platinum. Playing Rocket League, and I started a Handsome Jack collection, but I kind of tailed off. And I'm playing Fallout Shelter. Death Claws kill me every day. to get to like the 3rd floor of my vault. So that's pretty fun.
Have you bought anything?
No.
Okay.
I have 86 people. I haven't bought a single thing.
So they all just stay in one little thing to the shelter?
Hmm?
You just stay in one little room in the shelter, you have 86 people?
Not one room. It's a whole. It's like Sin Tower. It's like one huge vault in the mountain. I don't know how to get Mr. Handy though. Apparently he's patched in, but I can't find how to get him. I bet it's some lunchbox I have to get. So yeah, I'm playing all those games. I love Rocket League. That is amazing. Playing 4v4 with people you know is probably the most fun. Rankin would know. You two didn't show up for that.
It was busy.
Yeah, it was a really busy weekend.
Yeah.
Also, I have a good excuse.
Playing with Europeans is really, really intense.
We should stream that though whenever we can.
Rocket League?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Rocket League.
and Borderlands. We gotta do both.
Rocket League is the most under the radar best game I've played in a while. It's such a simple idea and has such high replay value for the free price tag. So
I had a feeling it's kind of like Super Mario Strikers, just like soccer with a twist.
Mario
that makes it
Kart
really
and Mario Strike.
that's exactly how Brett described it.
Yeah.
Mario Kart and Mario Soccer.
The Mario Strike game, yeah, and then Mario Kart on top of it.
Probably. I mean, except I actually kind of like it. I didn't really like Mario Kart. So.
Of course, Rankin. Of course, you didn't like a game that everybody else likes.
I was trying not to go there.
It
but
depends on the Mario Kart. The newer ones, yes. I did not like the 64 version. I get bored
I
with
suck
it.
at it.
Everyone wants to play it all the time. It's just
No.
like, everyone fights over Yoshi.
Yeah, I'd rather do the SNES or GameCube or even the Wii U one.
So Roadblocks. I'm playing too many games at the same time. So I gotta finish Old Blood and Handsome Jack collection.
Where are you at on platinums?
What do you mean, like
What's your number up to right now?
64 total?
64.
I'm on track to get 36 by the end of the year, from the beginning of the year. But August is kind of derailing me slightly.
Cool.
That's right. That's it, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll go. What I'm playing, well, I was playing Destiny, and my PS4 is dead. Kind of dead. The sound doesn't work, and the video is shoddy, and the network keeps dying on me, so it is now in the wonderful hands of PlayStation Heaven, or PlayStation Repair, whichever they decide to do with it. Sent it off this morning, so that leaves me with only like 13 other consoles to play, so I'm kind of at a loss here. I'm working my way through SWTOR again. They've got a 12 times experience bonus if you subscribe and play a story mission, so it's a great way to start a new character, run through one of the campaigns. Like, you skip all the filler and just play the story missions, which is nice. That game, it's really good if you just play the story missions, because you get all the BioWare choices and all of that. And there's 8 classes with 8 unique storylines. And whether you play them as dark side, light side, or neutral will sometimes vary on the class, change the story up quite a bit. So I'm enjoying that. Trying to get some guys from work to get together and play, but we're all lazy and have lives. Roadblocks are my PS4s in the shop. So that's a big damper. I can't play Rocket League with you guys till it gets back.
Rocket League's where it's at, I'm telling you.
We'll still be playing it, I'm sure.
So if you're watching this and don't have Rocket League and have PS Plus, download it now, because it's only available for free for another...
I thought it was available last month.
It was
Last
July.
month.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's like
we'll
10
buy it
bucks.
anyway.
Yeah,
Give them money.
buy it.
I bought the DLC for it. That's how good the game
It's
is.
what, like $3 or $4?
Yeah, it's $4. So you get one patch, you get like 3 trophies and a new arena, and some other items, I believe. And then if you pay for the $4 DLC, you got like 2 new cars, and a bunch of new decals, different types of paint jobs, and like 8 more trophies you can play. They're just really trying to harp on that replay value of that game. I mean, I got the game for free. I'm glad to pay them $4. I would have paid, $10, $20 for the game full price.
Okay.
Just like the past 3 months, 4 months, I don't know. I am playing Final Fantasy XIV, playing the Heavensward expansion. I finally got to the point where I've got to the raid. I beat the raid, so now I'm at the point where I'm just doing my dailies, my weeklies.
So you're
trying
done
to-
with the game.
No, not really.
Did you platinum it?
No. Whoa, no.
What does it take to platinum that game?
You've got to craft. So for each crafting class, you got to craft 1,000 different things for each of those crafting classes, which is about 6 or 7. And then there's a bunch of other random things you got to do. Some
Didn't
extreme.
11 have like you have to get max level with every class or something dumb like that?
I don't think it has that achievement, but fortunately, I've got some primal, some trial fights that I've been doing the extreme modes on, trying to get through those. So those are kind of roadblocks right now, just time, dailies, having to wait a whole 24 hours before I can progress more. Other than that, Windows 10 came out since the last time we did our game Scrum,
Gosh, it's
and
been long.
yeah, and
It's been a month, yeah.
I found this little app on there, this game called Solitaire that I've been playing a bit.
Solitaire.
Did you have to pay for that?
No, it's actually free. So roadblocks, winning. That's about it.
What, winning solitaire?
Yes,
Yeah, it's a hard game.
it kind of is.
It can be if you put it on Vegas rules and all that.
Couldn't you like set up the game back in like Windows 95 days to like you can pick the next card, or if you didn't like the card, it like reshuffled it or something, or like you could cut the deck a different way or something?
You ever played Solitaire?
Yeah, but did you ever play it for Windows 95?
No, we started at 98. We were late to the technology tree
So
in
wait,
my house.
you have it for PS4 ranking, the
What?
Final Fantasy?
Yeah.
I want to see what PS3trophies.org says is the average time to platinum that game.
I've been playing for about a year and a half now.
So you played before the reboot?
Plus.
No, it was the reboot came. It's been about 2 years.
Really?
600 plus hours, plus 6 months minimum
Good
due to an
God.
Adventurer Life trophy.
Oh gosh.
So then,
I didn't see. What are you guys looking in the future? What are you looking forward to playing in the next coming months?
Months.
ooh, that's a loaded
It's a-
question.
It's
Yeah.
a big. Well, September's
This is
already
roadmap.
pretty loaded. September's
So-
got a bunch.
I think we're all looking to play the Handsome Jack collection together.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
one thing.
Because Borderlands 2 is amazing!
It is.
Yeah.
What's it called? The next week, Until Dawn comes out. So probably a day after this podcast comes out. I'm very excited for that game. I saw a new YouTube video. They made it interactive, like the game, where it's like choose if you want to defend or run away or do nothing, and then like the video would change. It'll go to a different spot in the video, or to a different video completely would load in the frame. So I'm very excited for that. And then Metal Gear, and then I got nothing.
Mega Man Legacy Collection. I already talked about that, but yeah, really excited for that. I've really wanted to play, coming out the same day, the Gears of War remastered. But I mean, it comes out the same day as Mega Man, and I play Mega Man over that. And
Smart choice.
yeah, week after that we got Metal Gear. So yeah, gaming life's gonna get kind of tough
Yeah.
from that point
Fall
on.
usually tends to slow things down. You got to start prioritizing.
But Mad Max is still on my radar. I saw some more gameplay trailers for it today, and it's going to be, I think, well worth playing.
Do you think there's a chance it'll slide under the radar, being
Yeah.
eclipsed by Fallout 4?
Yeah, I think it's already
What?
pretty much under the radar.
Fallout.
Yeah, I think
Mad
a lot of
Max.
people still
Oh, Mad Max.
look at it like it's a movie tie-in, which it's really not, you know. But so I think it's got some things working against it, but I'm pretty confident it's going to be a worth playing game.
It's in the worst spot though. It's like
Yeah.
masked by Metal Gear, and then like a month later is Fallout 4, which is kind of a similar apocalyptic setting.
Well, November, but even then in October we got other big titles coming out too, like Battlefront is coming out.
Oh gosh, that's supposed to
No.
be big.
yeah,
They're
I
kind
have
of
not
fun if
pre-ordered
people
that.
actually play. If people are actually playing. Otherwise, I don't see it being good.
I gotta wait to see
dude.
reviews on
There's
Battlefront.
no single player for it.
yeah, that's the
No.
problem.
That's what they said about Titanfall, and I love that.
Well,
If you have people to play with,
I'm
sure.
fine with always on. It's just what you get in this Battlefield as opposed to what you got in Battlefield 2.
Yeah.
Like, there's significantly less modes. There's no real space combat.
Is it
there's
Battlefront
no
or
Battlefront?
Battlefield?
Battlefront.
Battlefront.
Okay, yeah, I get them mixed up.
So, Battlefront 2 on, 2 generations ago? It's like on the Xbox, PS2.
Yeah.
It was an amazing game. It was a lot of fun. You had the Jedi world where you're running, not the heroes, gameplay. It was a ton of fun to play with friends, and this one is just like, you get 4 maps, I think.
But they brought back the Battle Hoth, so you know.
It's in every start. That's in every. I think all 3 Rogue
It's
Squadrons
not
had
a-
the Battle of Hoth.
It's not a total bust. As long as they have Battle Hoth, I'm happy.
Every Star Wars game has.
For it being current gen though, and the scale of it, I'm thinking it's going to be pretty sweet. But that said, I'm probably not going to get around to it because of all the other stuff coming out.
Yeah. September.
I think it's
and
going to be
November.
sweet. I'm going to wait till I see reviews before. Also, I think I need to update my graphics card if I get it on PC. Okay. So today we've got a very special segment I wanted to start called Show and Tell, or Gaming Swag. So the idea was for everyone to bring in their favorite piece of gaming swag and show it off, but only Rich did it. So I think we can make this like a weekly thing. Someone else brings in something special to them, gaming swag, and shows it off. So,
Alright, sure.
Mr. Rich.
So this is a 3DO. A lot of you people don't know what this is. It's back from I think 94. Basically, back in the day, 3DO wanted to go kind of what the VCR and like DVD player route went, where they wanted to kind of license out their hardware and their software completely, so that anyone could make a 3DO, anyone could make software for it, including like porn companies and whatever. Yeah, plumbers don't wear ties. It's the thing. So
Yes.
so basically, they licensed it out. It got too chaotic. It was too expensive. It's basically the PlayStation 3 before the PlayStation 3. It was too expensive.
And better alternatives, PlayStation 3.
Yeah, and the PlayStation came out in America, I think, the year right after the 3DO, with much better games, items like that. But you can even notice, like, they try to future-proof it somewhat, so it'll last, like, 10 years. So then, like, everybody would get a 3DO in, like, 10 years, like you do with your DVD or Blu-ray players. You get a new one after X amount of time. So you'll notice to try to future-proof. So, for instance, they have a controller port here. There's only one. They gave developers the freedom to allow as many controllers as they wanted. So what they did... Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to scratch up your table.
It's alright. If it's a 3DO, I don't mind.
Alright. So I don't know if you can see this. You'd have to daisy chain the controllers together. So in theory, you could have, if the hardware allowed it, have about 18 controllers taking inputs at the same time. So you can have like a true Mario Party game or whatever, right? The problem was that not too many third parties jumped on it. Like
18-person split screen, that would be pretty ridiculous.
that would be ridiculous too. But you can make
Full-on FIFA. You see the entire field all at once.
you could do like a Smash TV or something like that, right? You
I
can
guess,
throw
yeah.
more people in there. Yeah, I mean, you can come up with lots of crazy ideas. So that was them. EA was really the biggest contributor to them. Actually, Road Rash, I believe, started on it. Need for Speed started on it. It was called Road and Track Need for Speed from that magazine. And Gex started on 3D. Gex was like their Sonic or their Mario until 3DO went the trunk. Yeah, they tried.
They made it to Sega, I believe, though.
It made it to the 64 and everything after 3DO just kind of went out of style, and PlayStation.
No internet port.
No internet port. It was like a CD player, but then when PlayStation came out, that was also a CD player, so it became obsolete within a year, pretty much.
So it died along with the Dreamcast. No, the
died
Dreamcast
before.
was... this was the
This was-
PlayStation, the original PlayStation.
Yeah, original PlayStation. The other thing you'll notice on here is that there's a huge crack right here. I don't know if it's just me, but 3DO is not really the greatest quality. And it reminded me a lot of Nintendo, where you had to blow into the cartridge to sometimes get the games to work, which I hear you shouldn't do, but that's what everybody did to get them to work. Well, my 3DO, for whatever reason, would stop reading the disc. You'd hear it stop spinning. So if you punched it right here, which is like where all the circuits and things are, it would jump start the game, the CD, and start spinning again for whatever reason. So you'll see this huge crack since I was like 10 years old, just punching this thing to start. But yeah, the reason this is my gaming swag is I was the only person who had a 3DO.
Yes, you
For
are the
years.
only
I think
person
you
that owns a
still
3DO.
are.
I was the guy in elementary school and middle school who's the guy who had the 3DO. Everyone wanted to play Road Rash and Gex. And everybody got PlayStation 64s, and that was obsolete, so... That's it. I brought a bunch of games. Maybe we'll stream some stuff. But I don't have all my games like Road Rash or anything like that.
So if we have to ask PlayStation or 64, your answer is 3DO.
Yes, I was a huge 3DO fan, and then I was a huge N64 fan, and then I started playing some Japanese RPGs, and I became a huge Sony fan. I haven't really switched a favorite console since then.
Brandon, growing up, did you have a PlayStation or a 64? Or
64 first, but by the time, like just before PS2 came out, I got a PS1 just because I had a stack of PS1 games that I wanted to play before I even had the console, just because it's like I knew I wanted to play Final Fantasy VII, Metal Gear, Resident Evil, Mega Man Legends, like because I think it was a while before, or afterward Mega Man Legends came out on 64, but it was like gotta or Mega Man 8. I wanted to play all these PS1 games that I couldn't play, but I can't regret my decision because Ocarina of Time, Smash Brothers,
GoldenEye?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 64 had its
The golden age.
had its good carts.
Jet Force Gemini? Donkey Kong?
Banjo-Kazooie.
Banjo-Kazooie?
All the rare replay games, really.
Yeah, really.
I can finally play those now.
Star Wars Episode 1 Racer? Actually, I think it was
That wasn't a bad
Actually,
game.
that wasn't a bad game at all.
I've beaten it, so
I sat enough, traded it in, so I get Ocarina of Time. But I think that was
smart.
a smart decision.
So ranking 64 PlayStation?
I was 64. I actually didn't get into PlayStation until about 3 years ago. So I got a PS2.
Yeah, I also grew up with a 60. We got a Super, then a 64, then a GameCube, and then a Dreamcast. My first Sony product was a PS2 when Guitar Hero launched. It was late into the PS2 era.
That was a good game, though.
And then I went back, got a PS1, and started buying up as many Final Fantasies as I could. And I've got every numbered non-MMO Final Fantasy. So that's nice.
I just got to get all the numbered ones, and I can have one more.
Actually, I think I'm missing Final Fantasy 3.
For the DS?
No, I think I just don't have a copy of 3. Like, I have 6, so Super NES Final Fantasy 3, but the actual Japanese 3,
Yeah.
I don't think I have a copy of.
They have it on, I think they have it like on iPhone now, and they have it as physical on the DS.
It's widely regarded as one of the weaker Final Fantasies,
It
which is
wasn't
why...
actually bad.
Yeah, but it's just one of those... Which is why they ported 4 over to America as 2 and 6 over as 3. And then skipped everything else and jumped to 7.
The way God intended.
The way God intended.
What's
So thanks
next?
for sharing that. So next week we'll have another thing of Gamer Swag, if you guys can remember. Scrum Master's Choice. We're going to talk about dead franchises. What franchise hasn't seen an update in over 5 years that you'd like to see a revival for? Who would you want to lead that revival? A lot of those franchises, like, I'm just going to throw out Gauntlet, which actually doesn't qualify because it recently had a re-release, but Midway used to make a ton of cool arcades. They're gone. They can't make Gauntlet anymore. So pick a franchise or a couple franchises. What company today would you like to see leading that revival? What mechanics were good? What should stay? What should go? What's new in gaming that franchise can take advantage of? So let's. I know Brandon's got a ton. He was looking forward to this.
Yeah, I'll probably just name a few because I think this should be a top 5. Because you could really get drilled down and get into some.
You can.
But let's see. The first one on my list is Blaster Master, also known as Metafight in Japan. It was an old Sunsoft game on NES, and it's such a cult classic of a game. Very challenging. I thought it really pushed the limits of what you could do with 8-bit, but Sunsoft usually did that all the time anyway. Graphically, the music was always really cool. But they had, I think they tried to do something on the Wii. They had just like a WiiWare kind of a re-release, but it wasn't very strong. I'd like to see that remade. And the other one was Demon's Crest. As a Capcom game, very late generation SNES game. It was a spin-off. It was a sequel of Gargoyle's Quest, which all that stuff was actually a spin-off of Ghosts and Goblins. one of the enemies, the little red gargoyle that you fight, they gave him a story and they gave him a game, and you play as him. And I think they would really do a good job making like a modern day, like I guess kind of like an adventure hack and slash game, kind of like Devil May Cry if they just use that character Firebrand. That's his name. I think the only recent thing that's come out relatively close is that you can play as him in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, the Ultimate Edition.
Yeah.
So,
That was a good franchise, Marvel vs. Capcom.
yeah, it was. Anyway, yeah, those are the two I got.
Rich?
I love this question.
Yeah, top 5, right?
franchises.
I just want to talk about. I also have Brett's, by the way, so I can talk about that too.
Who cares about him? He's not here.
So mine is Legend of Dragoon
Oh, yeah.
for the PS1, one of my favorite RPGs of all time. Up there with Final Fantasy VII and every other fanboy RPG ever. I don't know if you've ever played Legend of Dragoon, but basically you're a bunch of dragoons that can morph into basically or call dragons, and it was kind of like a quick time event / Tekken-esque RPG, kind of similar to the Legend of Gaia, where you'd level up, you'd get new combos, you'd have to hit a certain button at a certain time to continue the combo streak, and you get to a point where you can do like 8 combo hits, but you got to time them perfectly to get them, and then sometimes you can like summon your dragons or whatever. Really good story, lore, the 1,000-year-old dragon wars and
Sounds
things
like
like
a
that.
more adult version of Blue Dragon.
Probably is. I've only gotten through the first hour of Blue Dragon. I don't know
You
why.
didn't even get to disc 2, 3, or 4.
Nope. It was somewhere in some kind of spaceship-esque type of thing, which is probably not a spaceship, but
That was an underrated game. Forgot about that one.
yeah. But Legend of Dragoon, I would love to see it. I would love to see someone take it. I've been thinking about this, who had a lot of restrictions on it. So someone who's like, okay, you're going to make a sequel to Legend of Dragoon, but here are the rules. You have to make it so that it is basically an updated graphical version of like the first one. You can't really change the turn-based style of it. You just want to enhance it as if you were making a sequel on the PlayStation 1, but with, PlayStation 4 graphics. In thinking about it, I think a great developer to do this, if they were just to take a break from everything else they're doing that's awesome, is Rocksteady. I'd love to see Rocksteady just study Legend of Dragoon and come up with this epic story and epic gameplay, because they are known to study like an engine and a story and really bring that lore to life.
Yeah.
They research so much what they do before they actually do it. So I want to see Rocksteady just go back to the PS1 days, make a game, focus on the story, enhance the gameplay a little bit, and go from there. I'd buy it I'd pay $60 for that, even if it was like those graphics.
Yeah, Rocksteady would be the right people to do that. I wish they'd do that to Castlevania.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that they did a...
You went too far. Come back.
Yeah, if they did a Castlevania style Arkham, Arkham style Castlevania, oh god, I'd be all over that. That'd be fantastic. Anyway, I mean, I'd jump on you.
My mind went the opposite way. It would be like you restrict them. You went like make it like that. Because I feel like they went maybe too far, and you need to bring it back a few steps. But I could see that doing that too, something like that, where you make this open world type of environment.
Nick?
Me? Okay.
Yep, jumping to you.
Put me on the spot here. So I'm just going to go through these. I have about 3 that I would like to see. Banjo-Kazooie series. I don't count Nuts and Bolts as a Banjo-Kazooie.
Have you played it?
I don't count it. So
That doesn't answer the question.
anyway,
It's a good game.
I'd like to see that remade under Platonix, the old rare.
Well, you're kind of getting that now, aren't you?
Ukulele, pretty much.
Yes, kind of.
You don't have bottles, the whole thing.
It's really dependent. I'd like to see the Banjo-Kazooie universe go further, but that's beside the point. Second one I'd like to see is the Metroid series. We haven't seen anything since really Prime. Well, I think we had a DS and Other M.
Didn't they just announce something at E3?
Yeah,
It's-
Metroid
it's
Federation.
Yeah, like a spin-off
It's
or
like
something.
A
Not
lot of people were bashing it, and Reggie Fils-Aimé was like, shut the fuck up and play it first before you bash it. Because it's the same thing Wind Waker had. When they announced Wind
Oh,
Waker, everyone was really pissed about it, and Wind Waker is one of the best Zeldas ever made. So.
I'd really like to see Retro did such a fantastic with the Prime series, I thought. And then they went to Other M, which I thought it was interesting they brought back the side-scrolling action, but it did not do it well, I thought.
Now, to clarify, Retro did not do Other M. That was Team
they
Ninja
didn't. That was
did
Team
Other
Ninja
M.
that did that. So
Don't want to confuse Other M, that shit that it was,
Yeah.
to Retro's
So
amazing.
It did, and it didn't play like any Metroid anyway.
the third one has actually been, I guess, ported several times, but I really haven't seen anything for a long time. The Chrono Cross, Chrono Trigger series.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Chrono
I
Cross
would-
is the
that was-
last one.
I would like
Just
to.
2 games in that.
Yeah, I mean,
I have an unopened copy of Chrono Cross.
it would be. Of course, it has to stay with Square Enix because it's their IP, but it would be interesting to see Tetsuya Nomura take over that one. Basically, the Kingdom Hearts creator and the Final Fantasy VII, just because everything he touches is gold. So it would be interesting to see that on a current gen platform for a new.
They've been trying to make a third one for, like, I remember since PS1 days, they're like, Chrono Break, it's going to come out
Yeah,
next
Chrono
year.
Break was supposed to be the name
It's
of
gonna be like the last guard game.
And then you have PS2, like, Chrono Break, they have the title but nothing else. And, like, every generation I hear about Chrono Break, it's finally going to come out. And it's like Duke Nukem Forever, it's never going to happen.
Well, they're going to have to start
Half-Life
off
3
with like
then.
a remake of Chrono Trigger, or at least some port that gets it off the WiiWare and into the Xbox and the PS4.
So I played Chrono Cross first and Chrono Trigger second. Those stories, is it like Final Fantasy where they're not even the same universe, or is it the same universe, same story kind of
I
continuing?
think they're in the same universe. I've not played them, to be honest. I think they're
Oh.
in the same universe, though, just different timelines in that universe. Because Chrono Trigger, the name Chrono, you're traveling through time a
Yeah.
lot.
Oh, that game's great.
Yeah.
You gotta play it.
That was my Eleanor for a long time in collecting. For those of you who've seen Gone in 60 Seconds, Chrono Trigger was my Eleanor. I could not find a good copy. Finally found one and paid like $60 or $70 for it. But every one I'd find, like, some kid had wrote his name on it, or the sticker was all faded and beat up to hell. I'm just like, I'm not paying $60 for a beat up copy of it. Finally got it like 5 years ago. That was my Eleanor. It was the one rare Super NES game I couldn't get.
Nice.
So my list, there's a lot. I'll probably start off with a pretty well-known Mega Man X.
Oh yeah.
I would love to see another iteration of X, similarly to what they're doing with the original Mega Man. 9 and 10 have come out recently, and they're very similar, same graphics, same game. I loved X, especially the first 3. I would love to see Capcom, even without Kenji Ifune, try and do X9. We don't have an X9, so I'd love to see that. Viva Pinata. It's just slightly unknown, but it did come out. I think it came out with a rare replay. That was a lot of fun. It was kind of a kid game, but you grow a garden, you invite these pinatas over to stay in your garden, and then you can like mutate them and change the colors. And it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. It was actually the first 360 game I got.
I never would have pictured Viva Pinata on your list.
It's a lot of fun. The
I know.
last one they came out with was on the DS.
He's right. I got.
It's a great game to chill to. Just come home, kick on your garden, and so when I do get the rare replay, that's going to be one of the first. The first one I'm going to play is actually on my list. Is I mentioned it earlier, Jet Force Gemini. That game is amazing. I don't think Rare is the best person to do it. I would love to see Retro try it. Granted, that would mean it's on the Wii U, most likely, but
Retro, everything they touch is gold, though.
it is. And Jet Force Gemini was such a fun. Like the ending was a little, but it was a really fun concept where you've got 3 different characters flying throughout the solar system. So each of them have different powers. Like one can jump really high, one can swim really well, and one's a dog, which is awesome. And then you can go back and play through other people's levels as well as you unlock them, and it was just a lot of fun saving the teddy bears and blowing up ants. The last one I want to say is Skies of Arcadia, which was a GameCube Dreamcast. Well, it was on the Dreamcast, and then they ported over Skies of Arcadia Legends, which was just like a remaster for the GameCube. It was a lot of fun. It was a great RPG. I think it was the second RPG I ever beat. The first one being Super Mario RPG. It's a good story about a space pirate, and spaceship, or not a spaceship, but a space pirate, flying around and doing piratey things. There's some plot to destroy the world. Of course, you got to beat, but it was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it a lot.
There's not enough pirates in games.
There's not enough pirates.
Not enough pirates in games. I have that game. I haven't played it yet.
Scuzz Arcadia?
Yeah, I got it
Amazing.
at Disc Replay for
Highly recommend it.
like maybe $5.
One of my, for years, it was in my top 5 favorite games, and it's kind of fallen out because there's been a lot more games that have come out since then, but great game. I'm surprised no one said Half-Life.
I was thinking the same thing.
Well, I've never played a Half-Life, to be honest.
I haven't either, but
I've never been a PC gamer.
I beat Half-Life 2, but I'm sure there are fanboys screaming, how has no one said Half-Life? Because that's a dead franchise.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
we all know Valve can't count past 2.
That's true.
Portal would be a good one. Portal 3.
I just
I like
love the
Portal.
picture of Gabe, and it's ABC, easy as 1, 2. just leaves it there because Gabe Newell can't count to 3.
But Portal 2 came out in 2012, so
Yeah, it's not a dead franchise.
Has it been that?
I thought it was like
Soon?
2010.
Seems like it's been
I
long.
don't know. Go
There's
pull
no way. I was
Portal
living
2 off.
with my roommates at the time.
Just find a copyright.
I was out of
Portal
there.
1. Portal 1 probably.
No, it's Portal 2. What is it? Am I dreaming? Oh, maybe I was not living with my roommates.
Probably have a receipt in here.
There should be a year on the back.
A copyright date on there.
Trying to find it.
Anyway.
Here, you look on this one. I'll go look in the
It
Xbox
should be
version.
right there.
Is it? Yeah. We got Google. I mean, anyone
No,
want to
we're
try that?
going to use archaic 2011.
2011.
2011.
I was-
Hey,
I
we're in
was-
between.
Split the divide then.
So I was right when I moved out of my, what's it called?
I know we
roommate's
were
house.
working. I know I had started the job with you guys because you all gave me grief about owning 3 copies of the game.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
you
can't
never
remember.
hugged me in that game for that trophy.
I already had the trophy.
I didn't.
Oh yeah.
You like hugged 3 people down on your friends list or something?
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Moving on to our final topic, top 5. This week's top 5 is DLCs or expansion packs. Top 5 downloadable content and expansion packs. Since Brandon seems to be the most prepared,
Oh, all right.
Most prepared least
Sure. All right.
Sure.
All right. Number 5, I got Fallout 3's Point Lookout. I really like the location. It's a swampy, mansion-y
is
area.
the one where you went to Pittsburgh? No, it was Broken State.
I just remember swampland and zombies. I thought that was kind of a cool departure from desert wasteland versus what seemed like desert. You know what I mean? Yeah. I that one stands out as probably my favorite out of the Fallout DLCs, and I knew I had to throw that on there. So it's number 5. Number 4 will probably share, I believe, Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep.
For Borderlands 2.
Yeah, outstanding DLC, which I enjoyed all the DLCs for Fallout. Borderlands, but Tiny Tina's was very entertaining and a lot of fun.
Yo, what makes that one better than all the other Borderlands DLC or the DLC? Because everybody raves about it. I haven't played it yet. I
The
haven't.
narrative is really good. Oh, it's your-
We don't, yeah, that's it. Like
it's
that-
number 1 on my list. Spoilers.
It's, it felt like they put the most work in it. It felt like they were kind of going, like, this is going to be like the last big DLC. We're going to go out in style. And
It wrapped up the story from Borderlands 2 a lot. It dealt with some heavy themes while being very kiddie. It put you in this fantasy world that was... It was so stark in contrast to the gritty world of Pandora, but it worked so well, and it's funny.
yeah.
You know, you get Handsome Jack back for more lines, which is awesome. You get new grenades, and the grenades become spells. So you get like Fireball and Lightning Strike, and the weapons are awesome. There is a shotgun that shoots exploding swords. Mr. Torg has an orgasm when you find it. It's pretty awesome. So yes, I will defend that later.
Maybe we'll stream that.
We
I think
should.
we should
I
stream
mean, we
it.
should play it. I mean, I have a Gunzerk.
Yeah, well, when you get your PS4 back, we'll stream it.
Absolutely.
All right, number 3, I got Titanfall's title updates. I count this as an expansion because it wasn't the base game. I could argue that it probably was something that the base game should have been, but they added more of what was really good and more features.
It's always nice when the developer figures out what works and adds more of it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Like they took what worked and they expanded on it. Like the black market thing. They gave you more Titan voices, which was really just one I want. And it sounds like Ed 209 from RoboCop. It's like
Present Hall Pass.
Yeah, yeah. That's pretty much the only Titan voice I think you really need. But they have like all these different foreign language ones that I put on just for fun. Why not?
Great if they had GLaDOS.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I guess they could do that because that was EA, wasn't it?
No, it was Valve.
Was it?
No, it's EA. EA published it. Valve developed it.
Oh, that's right. That was not publisher.
Number 2, I got Metal Gear Solid 4 Trophy Patch. Give me a nice excuse to go back and brutalize myself for a big boss run. Not much else I can say about that. But yeah,
You have to be a true trophy whore for that.
yeah, you do. Number 1 is Street Fighter 2 Turbo. I picked that one because although not necessarily DLC, it was an upgrade to arcades. Like it was a
DLC.
it was a
PCB
kit actually that they'd send to arcades and they would put it in the Championship Edition and just to speed it up. So like some of the Turbo cabinets still had like the Championship Edition skins or whatever. So and plus I needed something to fill it up, but when I found that I thought that's it. That's the one I want. I had to use some Wikipedia there to I was struggling a little bit. That's my DLC and expansions.
All right, I guess I'll go. So number 5.
Can I borrow your pen?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Write
So
mine down when I think of them.
Oh sure. Yeah.
So mine is probably all the Little Big Planet costumes for Little Big Planet 1, and especially the Heavenly Sword DLC you got for pre-ordering from the store. I was one of those guys who was addicted to every Tuesday waiting for the new Little Big Planet costumes to come out and buying them. And I don't know why, but I was addicted to that game. My friend actually in Chicago, we used to share accounts back before Sony changed all the rules on it. And so he would buy them one week, I'd buy them the next, and we just share accounts, and we'd each get all the costumes. So I'm probably missing half the costumes now. I also like the Metal Gear paintball expansion for it. It's one of the DLCs. Number 4 is somewhat of an expansion. It's a Grand Theft Auto, the original, but London. It was the reason I actually bought a PS1 was for that game. It was a top-down Grand Theft Auto game. Grand Theft Auto is taken for granted now, but back in the day, there was nothing like that. Where you just go around trying to run people over with cars, do all these criminal activities. So it was really for someone who's in 5th grade, 6th grade, it's this is awesome. It's 16-bit-ish.
I vaguely remember what did they add some things new to it specifically for London?
So yeah, it was in London, and it had all the London rules. So it had all the
drove on the wrong
side of the road. They had James Bond cars, but they would just name them slightly differently.
Oh, nice.
So the James Bond car was actually the fastest car in the game, and it was so fast.
Aston Martin.
Sure. I'm trying to think what else did they add. It had the double-decker bus, which was really fun to drive. The storyline was, all Londonish and kind of Beatles and London mobster.
By Jove, the Queen's in trouble!
Yes. But yeah, it had all the police sirens of, all the bobbies or what the hell they call them over there. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. So, my next one is Infamous First Light. Didn't think I would like that. Got it for free with PS Plus. If they just added co-op to that arena mode, that game would be a million times better and probably one of the best games on the PS4. Yeah. Just single-player arena, it's really good. But if they just added co-op, I would pay more money for that game. I'll probably pay $20, $30 for that game, which I think is the standard price, but still. It was just a unique experience to have that kind of 3-story arena mode with third-person superhero powers. Next, Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon.
Ooh, yeah.
Blood Dragon is an homage to the 1980s action genre. starring Michael Biehn, who was in Terminator and Aliens. The game was ridiculous. It was as if testosterone made a video game in the 1980s. That's probably the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
I mean, there was like dinosaurs with laser eyes. You shoot and fight. And one of them, like,
Everything's in vectors.
yeah, like everything was really weird, very Aliens. There was also a point in the game where they started to mimic Mortal Kombat, and there was just wave after wave of people attacking you in this temple, and then they played similar knockoff music to Mortal Kombat's theme song when they did it, and there was like finish him, and like all these Mortal Kombat quotes would pop up on the screen, or like in the sound bits. So if you like testosterone in 1980s and Michael Biehn, it's probably one of the best 6-hour DLC experiences you'll ever have, and the script is ridiculous. So that was number 2. And number 1, from Windows 98, is Red Alert 2, Yuri's Revenge. The extra 8 or so levels that you get with that game, finding out that Yuri survives. And
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers. And he makes his own faction, so you can play as Soviets, Americans, or Yuri. Yuri is all brain control. Whole unique set of RTS characters. The thing that sticks out the most for me with that game was the moon level, where they had like you had to build on the moon, the gravity was different, everything like that. Resources are completely different, so that was probably one of the most memorable ones. I don't remember why they went to the moon. I just remember playing on the moon, and that was really fun. But yeah, that was mine.
Cool. Sweet. I don't have my list written down, so I'm gonna kind of wing it. I'm gonna start from number 1 and move
Pull a
down.
ranking, huh?
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure
This
I know.
is your Scrum, and you don't have one ready?
It is, well,
Yeah,
okay.
I actually do it pretty well, though.
Number 1, Tiny Tina's Attack on Dragon's Keep.
Nice. All right.
Fucking love that DLC. It's a lot of fun, and usually when I go back and play Borderlands 2, I just go straight there and just play around in there. The music was awesome. The story was really well done, funny. Like I said, hit some deep themes, but no, it's just a great expansion and a lot of fun. Especially when you start getting, what's the purple stuff?
Slag?
No, the currency. Iridium?
Iridium, yeah.
Iridium. You start doing slot machines with the Iridium.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of fun. Number 2 is the Citadel DLC for Mass Effect 3.
I haven't
That
played that yet.
added a ton of content. There was a whole new game mode where you could pick any two companions from any of the past 3 games and fight waves and waves of enemies. It was like some arcade mode. It was a lot of fun. The story was pretty good. Worth playing multiple times just to see how the different companions, fare throughout the night getting drunk. It was just a really good expansion DLC. Highly recommend. Number 3, Reaper of Souls for Diablo 3 completely fixed the game. Patch 2.0 fixed the game, but Patch 2.0 more or less launched with Reaper of Souls. Diablo 3, when it launched, got a lot of negative press because no one could get on, because they decided always online was a good idea. Instead of, asking anyone else who had ever done an always online game. I don't know why that's still a big thing. Unless, if it's...
MMOs
There's-
are pretty good on those.
MMOs do okay, but launch weekends always suck. Anyway, the Diablo 3 had a lot of flaws. Loot was very hard to come by because they had an auction house, so they wanted people to sell their good loot. It's just a pain. Loot 2.0, with Reaper of Souls when it launched, loot drops like candy. It's awesome. They removed the auction house. The game is so much better. They added a new class, which is a lot of fun to play, the Crusader. So Reaper of Souls gets my vote for number 3. Number 4 would probably be, I can't think of the name. The Secret Armory of General Knox for Borderlands 1. Another one with a decent storyline. You had Terramorphous the Invincible, the first real raid boss of that series that kind of spawned a whole slew of them. It was hard as hell, too.
Yeah.
General Knox was just a hilarious personality, just a huge general who just gave up on life. He's just like, yeah, sure, whatever, you're going to kill me, let's do it. He was a great personality to add, contrasted well against a lot of the people. And then just doing vault runs. There was a glitch in the game where if you didn't beat the final level, you could glitch yourself into the vault. And the vault, in a game just full of loot, there's just treasure chests, and you just open them all, and they all have like legendary or higher stuff in it. And it's just a kid in a candy shop, and you could do it over and over and over and over again. It's so much fun and so rewarding. Kind of cheating, but even then, it was really hard to get the best weapons in the game. I did it probably 20 times. I don't think I ever got a cyan weapon, which was the ultra rare. I mean, that stuff's hard to get. So it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that expansion pack.
Is that the cyan weapons? Are those like the alien weapons that like never ran out of ammo?
No, those were technically cyan, but they weren't like that. They got downgraded later on to be greens.
Gotcha.
But they actually later on added in the DLC's cyan weapons, which were above legendary. They were amazing.
Yeah. I think I have a couple cyan shotguns.
Game's a little bit broken after that, though.
Yeah, if you
who
get one,
cares?
the drop rate is retarded.
Really?
Yeah, you're not going to get one. Like, I've played over 100 hours on Borderlands 2 on 2 different consoles, PC and 360, and never found a cyan weapon. It's like a shiny in Pokemon.
That RNG.
Drop rate is retarded. And my last number 5 DLC expansion packs. ODST, Halo 3 ODST. Was originally supposed to be an expansion pack for Halo 3, and then they kind of made it its own game because they didn't have a Halo coming out that year. So, the powers that be, Microsoft, told them to make it a full game. But it was an amazing
Doesn't
game.
sound like Microsoft at all.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But no, ODST is one of my favorite games. It is my favorite Halo game. It's got a very noir, dark, gritty feel to it. It's like a mystery. You're this rookie who's out in this city that's been overrun by aliens. You're not a Spartan. You're just a normal soldier. Well, you're like the best non-Spartan soldier, but you're trying to find your squad, figure out what happened, and the levels are what happened to your squad during the day. So you find a piece of your squad's armor, and then you go play a level as that squad member. It was really fun, really good. It also added, it also added the firefight mode, which is one of my favorites. So.
That kind of spawned a whole thing of Horde mode, didn't it?
It really did. I don't think it was the first Horde mode, but it was
popular.
one of them. It launched pretty similarly to Gears of War 2. But I liked it a lot, because as things went on, you unlocked more skulls, which were already a part of Halo, and you just kept getting harder. Had no matchmaking, though, which kind of sucked. So that's my top 5.
Nice.
Rankin's gonna wing it.
Gonna wing it in no particular order. My top 5. Number 1, Fable 2. I don't know exactly the names for it. It was the one that introduced you to the Spire, or you got to go back to the Spire. It basically introduced Fable 3. It was more or less a hype factor for me because I loved Fable 2, and it basically was foreshadowing, we're coming out with this new one, and this is what it's going to be about. So, I thought that was pretty cool, and any excuse to hear the music box again because I love that tune. But, anyway, that's number 1. Number 2 would be Halo 3. Don't know the name of the expansion, but the expansion that introduced Sandbox map. Basically the only reason I played any of the Halos was for the multiplayer.
Or for Forge?
Forge mode? That launched with 3.
Yeah.
No, there was Sandbox. There was a map pack that was came with it, though.
One of the map packs?
Yeah, it was one of the map packs that came along later on.
It came out with a giant map. I think the map was called Sandbox.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not Forge mode itself.
Yeah, Forge mode was
okay.
with it, yeah. So, the Sandbox map
I
itself, we actually...
Was there a skull hidden in it, too?
There was a skull hidden in it,
Yeah.
and it was actually one of the fun ones to actually try to get, because then you got to do the Forge mode to actually get to it.
Now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Is it the empty warehouse?
I did that in the...
No, that's the big giant sand
And the
one
things that shoot at you,
lasers
right?
shooting you.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That was a really fun one because
Yeah.
they'd introduced the whole 3 levels into it, so there was so much you could do with it.
Yeah.
So that was a pretty cool one. Number 3, a little bit more unorthodox, is Sonic and Knuckles.
Oh yeah.
It was a game in
Yeah.
itself,
I almost
but you
put
could
that one
also
on.
plug it into your old Sonic games and actually play it there. Tried to plug it into like something like NBA Jams or something like that. See if I could get the Sonic sprites into it, but it didn't
They
work.
just erased the game.
Yeah. So, it was a lot of fun though. Expansion there. I think I'm on 4 now.
Yep.
Goes back to when I was playing WoW Cataclysm. I kind of came in late, but as far as the expansions, you can basically get the feel of playing through them. And the Cataclysm expansion, just the content it introduced, the complete map redesign on everything. They just overhauled everything in Cataclysm, it seemed, and it was just quite amazing. Unfortunately, I don't play WoW anymore, so kind of loses his lackluster there. Number
5.
2, 4,
5.
5.
It's the last one, buddy.
Sir.
Done well.
Number 5 is the Goat Z expansion to
Goat C?
Goat Z.
I don't want to see the Goat C expansion right now.
I also am not interested in seeing the Goat Sea expansion. Don't Google that, kids. Goat Sea expansion.
Apparently, there's a word I have to learn.
Wait,
Um,
yeah,
Were you not
Rankin,
on the
look it up.
Calisters that day?
Look it up, Rankin.
Not on this podcast. Oh God, there's pictures.
I don't know where to go from here. The Goat Z expansion for Goat Simulator is it's interesting. The game itself is pretty darn hilarious, but you introduce the Goat Z expansion. I was pretty torn.
Expansion.
I was pretty torn between that and the MMO expansion because that alone is hilarious. They tried to simulate an MMO, but
It's literally called Goat Z.
Yes.
I guess they had to do that on purpose.
Yeah, they fool
That's too
people like
funny.
Rankin.
That's
Do you have Brett's list?
I only have his
Dead franchises.
his Dead franchise, which is
just rattle them off. That'll,
it's just the
that'll write us
one.
out.
Crash Bandicoot was his. He wants to see a new.
Oh, yeah.
Insomniac.
Uh,
Was it Insomniac?
no, it was,
No, it was,
Naughty Dog.
Naughty Dog.
But Activision owns the rights to it because Naughty Dog made it under Universal.
Then it's dead.
Oh.
Only to be pulled back to be milked to death someday.
Hey, who knows? Maybe they'll do a Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5 treatment on it.
What else you got?
What?
None.
You hate Tony Hawk?
No, sorry, I was looking up the
Was
definition.
that- Was that
Oh,
Oh,
not to do that.
did you Google it with images?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
That's yeah. So I'd love to see a new Crash. I'd like to see it in the style of like how it used to be, just with updated graphics, 1080p. The new polygon counts, whatever the hell they are, 50 billion, jillion.
Crash Bandicoot mixed with Spyro.
They're very similar. In fact,
They're
Naughty
not the
Dog
same
and
company though.
Insomniac
No.
made Spyro,
Insomniac did Spyro.
Okay.
while Naughty Dog did Crash Bandicoot. They were friends, and their studios were across the street from each other.
Gotcha. I gotcha. Did he have any other? Did he have his top 5?
No, that's all he had. He told
Insomniac's
me.
not still doing Spyro though. Who's cranking those out now?
I think.
Are they doing
Is
it?
it Activision?
I think Activision might be.
Yeah.
When's the
owning
last Spyro come out? Or
Oh,
when did-
they've got the Skylanders. Spyro is Skylanders.
Oh
No.
it. Yeah, so it's a
That's what they're
transforming the
cranking out.
Skylanders.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's
So yeah,
disappointing.
Activision's just milking both of those franchises. Well, not Crash.
They do.
Well, it's
They
like
milked
the
Crash till Crash.
It's like
That's
the
what old Bobby Kotick
Disney,
does.
Disney Infinity, same thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
I still don't understand what Skylanders or Disney Infinity is.
I think it's like my impression is an MMO that you have to buy amiibos to play.
Yeah, I understand that you have to buy little figurines. I don't know what they do and how they correspond to a game.
I think you plug them in and they show up. Like you can. It's kind of like I would assume, and I've not played these. It's kind of like
Pokemon
Lego.
Stadium.
I would assume it's kind of like Lego, where you can like play any character on a level. Like if you played any of the Lego games.
It'd be a good social
Like-
experiment for someone to try it out.
Oh, I got amiibos. I'm already way too deep into amiibos. I got like 20 of those things. I can't keep up with it, man. They just keep coming out with more.
Because you're gonna buy them.
See,
Yes.
I'm afraid that I don't have any amiibos, but I'm afraid if I start with Skylander, I'll get addicted to Skylander, and I'll be that creepy guy who started collecting Skylander toys and is in lines with like 5 and 7-year-old kids trying to get Skylanders.
I finally did get my Monster Meat.
Well, I don't want to be that guy.
I'm surprised no one mentioned Red Dead Redemption's expansion.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
thinking about that.
Yeah.
Undead. I was thinking about that. I haven't played it yet.
Undead Nightmare, was that it?
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption?
Yeah.
Undead Redemption.
That apparently.
I'd like to see.
If I hadn't thought of Halo 3
Has-
ODST,
yeah.
that would have been mine. 'Cause that no one liked playing after you beat the game, you play as another character, and no one liked playing as him. So they brought back John Marston.
Hey, I've been playing it. I wanted to do Skyward, but it's really too soon to even say it's going to be a good one.
I haven't tried the new KOTOR 2 expansion. Have you guys heard of that? So apparently a bunch of people got into the old code of KOTOR 2, which released way too early and is missing like a third of the game, and they finished off the game and just released it as a free content patch. It's like gigs and gigs for a game that's 2 generations old, and basically completes out Knights of the Old Republic 2. So I'm kind of interested to try that out, because that game kind of ended pretty abruptly.
What about House of Wolves? No one wants that one.
TTK may.
You can.
I'm joking. I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah, well, TTK actually might be like a Reaper of Souls. I so hope it is, and just fixes the game. Reaper of Souls did it, and it's the same price point, $40, unless you're in Europe, in which it's like now $100 because 40 pounds is.
Yeah, I don't want to pay.
enough
I don't want
money.
to pay $60 for an expansion.
It's just 40. You've already got the game. You just pay 40.
I paid for what I thought was a season pass, which I thought would cover me in case something like that did come
Well,
out.
it's only for the first season. They said it's a 10-year game.
10 years series.
I am reserving judgment till it comes out. But from what I've seen, it seems like they're adding a lot of just fixes to things. The game should be much more user accessible. The story, God willing, is supposed to be, there.
Well, I think we're in Game Scrum after hours right now.
Probably.
Game Scrum after hours.
Well, yeah, we could release this later. So if we need like some content in the future.
Oh wait, Game Scrum after.
Yeah, after
hours.
hours. It gets a little blue.
Can you tell I'm not wearing pants?
That's my
Oh,
favorite
yeah.
quote.
What?
Yeah, it looks like we're not wearing pants.
Looks like that works. All right. Well, I guess we'll sign off then.
Yeah, because I gotta eat.
Rallies, gotta eat. They are not a sponsor of ours, but if they want to be.
We should get
All right, bye everybody.
See ya.
Let's get Amazon to sponsor us.
Oh, didn't know you were there.